Hello everyone, welcome to History with Hersefet. I'm your host Chris, aka Hersefet. Today I'll be conversing with some stand-up individuals about the year that was 2008. The views shared on this podcast come from your everyday ordinary people. My hope is that it'll give a unique perspective on history. How are you guys this afternoon?
Doing
Hanging
pretty
in there?
good.
Doing pretty
Very
good?
Very
Good. Oh, I like to hear it. Welcome back, Brad. Good to hear from you.
Oh, yeah. 2008. I can't wait.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
How about that? That's a good one. Hopefully they use that. I don't remember. But
I think you're 2000 and late. That's what it was.
oh, that's right. Better 2008 than 2000 and late. Or that was like a Black Eyed Peas. Anyway.
Yeah.
So for future podcasts, we'll be doing 2009, and that will be the conclusion of our review in the year 2000. So that'll be exciting. I'm not sure. I might do like a short little list of the top 10 of every year, or for a culmination of all of it. It wouldn't be like including everybody. I mean, we could. It would be a short one though. It'd be like maybe 30 minutes.
Right. We could even possibly do it maybe at the end of the 2009.
Maybe. Yeah, we could add that to it. That'd be interesting. Yeah, that's a good idea. And then the beneficial sounds of music. I talked with my buddy, and it looks like we're going to be testing out our internet connection this week and seeing or his internet connection, I should say, and hopefully we'll be able to bring that to you guys next weekend. So looking forward to that. And without further ado, we'll get right to the year 2008. And on January 21st, stock markets around the world plunge amid growing fears of a U.S. Great Recession, fueled by the 2007 subprime mortgage crisis and the announcement of a Shwayze world tour. January 21st, online activist group Anonymous initiates Project Chanology after a leaked interview of Tom Cruise by the Church of Scientology is published on YouTube. In the video, music from Cruise's Mission Impossible films play in the background while Cruise makes various statements, including saying that Scientologists are the only people who can help after a car accident, and that Scientologists are the authority on getting addicts off drugs. Project Chanology consisted of hacking satellites to loop Battlefield Earth on every TV, cell phone, PC, laptop, and tablet on Earth. That was an interesting one because that's actually what Tom Cruise said, and that's so fucking funny that it's almost like, well, how do I make a joke out of this? And I was just like, what the fuck is Chanology? Is a mixture of 4chan and Scientology. It's and basically it consisted of them like hacking their website and causing all sorts of like operational problems for the Church of Scientology. So yeah, I just figured, well, they could just show Battlefield Earth. That should do the job all on its own. So no need to go to that length. Just play that. But anyway, on March 19th, an energy release of a gamma ray burst called the GRB 080319b is the brightest event ever recorded in the universe. After much debate and a worldwide uproar, the name was changed to Jesus Holy Fuck That's Bright. June 1st, a fire breaks out at Universal Studios Hollywood, resulting in widespread damage and reportedly destroying up to 175,000 master recordings by over 700 artists from the 1930s to the 2000s. Considered by many to be the biggest musical tragedy since the invention of Christian metal. Do you remember that, Brad? I do. I remember that. There's a lot of masters that got like destroyed that you'll never hear again.
From 2008, I probably heard about it, but
yeah, I remember.
I don't really remember that happening.
A lot of it's like
Me neither.
musicals and stuff like that. You know, like the master recordings from like the Eagles and from like all sorts of other artists. Yeah, it's just I wish I got more into it, but like there's a lot of really good stuff that was lost. But yeah, it just I remember that. Oh.
I wonder how much of that stuff was never put out and lost, therefore, lost forever.
Right, that's true. It's
I'm hoping the majority is Christian metal. That's
no.
Well, that's why there isn't that.
I don't know if there's Christian metal in 1930, but that would have been interesting.
Who knows? They could have just been starting out. You wouldn't have known.
Considerably ahead of their time.
Set them back a little bit.
On July 11th, South Korea suspends all trips to North Korea's Mount Kumgang after a 53-year-old South Korean tourist is shot and killed by a North Korean sentry. In response, North Korea declares Mount Kumgang the official meeting spot for photo ops, orgies, labor camp company picnics, and family retreats.
I heard cum gang, like come again?
Yeah, no, that's actually
really how it's pronounced.
Yeah, well, that's how I'm pronouncing it. Kumgang.
That's how you're pronouncing
That's what it looks like.
Probably.
Kumgang.
It's like well, what is it? Fajoli. You ever seen the word fajoli written out?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Yeah.
You do not say that word how it looks.
Right.
But yeah, that's if it's not how it's pronounced, it's how I saw it at least. But it's just interesting name for mountain. On September 10th, the proton beam is circulated for the first time in the Large Hadron Collider. The world's largest
Hadron?
Hadron?
Yeah, Hadron Collider.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Large Hadron, whatever. The largest and highest energy particle accelerator located at CERN near Geneva under the Franco-Swiss border. When asked what the goal of the project was, Swiss scientist Hansel Forsberg said, "Well, truth be told, it's actually just an overly extravagant rat track. We're all just degenerate gamblers here in Switzerland." On September 15th, stocks fall sharply with Lehman Brothers bankruptcy filing, Merrill Lynch's acquisition by Bank of America, AIG's unprecedented request for short-term financing from the Federal Reserve, and Shwayze's insistence that they are indeed having a world tour. September 29th, following the bankruptcies of Lehman Brothers and Washington Mutual, the Dow Jones falls to 777.68 points, the largest single-day point loss in its history. But if we keep up our current pace, I believe we can beat that. October 3rd, U.S. President George W. Bush signs the revised Emergency Economic Stabilization Act into law, creating a $700 billion Treasury fund to purchase failing bank assets and a rare collection of Princess Diana Beanie Babies. On October 7th, Spotify music streaming service is launched in Sweden. It would mark the start of every schmuck with an internet connection and a microphone hosting their own podcast. On a completely unrelated note, please check us out on Spotify. November 4th, Democratic U.S. Senator Barack Obama is elected 44th President of the United States, making him the first Nazi, Muslim, lizard, hybrid, Antichrist, Satanist, globalist, African-American president in history. I remember that. You remember where you were when Barack Obama was elected president? I remember that.
Yeah.
My parents, I'll go into. I remember earlier in the day, I'd already voted, and my parents were tallying it up for the people that they knew and who would vote for and against, and they were in the against camp. And I got home, they're like, "Did you vote? Who'd you vote for?" I was like, "Obviously Obama." "Okay, well we voted for McCain, so that cancels you out." "All right, who'd you vote for?" "All right, so we're good there." And it's just like, "Oh, yeah, well,
Oh my,
yeah,
Jesus.
yep." And of course, Indiana went blue that fucking time. So
yeah, that's true.
They miscounted, or they realized shortly after that they were losing battle. I remember later that night I went to some dive bar in the local town 8 miles away, called the what was it called? It's called the other place now, but I can't. Back 40. Anyway,
Back 40.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just a group of just the middle-aged to elderly men drinking, just almost like the bar, like Moe's Tavern in The Simpsons. That's just what it looks like. Yeah. So it's I remember somebody said, like, "I don't care that he won as long as he doesn't take away money from the military." All right, well, I don't think that's going to happen, but okay, It was an interesting night. I was happy to see it. Nothing really more. It seemed to be more for a moment for people who were black than anything else, to see that, as opposed to just just me. But go ahead.
Well, sure. I think it's probably just more for, really just the country in general. It seemed like we were progressing. If you look,
progress.
that was huge progress. If you, obviously look at all the presidents that we had before. All of them were white men.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
Yeah. And after.
Yeah, and
so far.
Yeah, and after so far. But Obama was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, but the thing is, the only other thing that we have right now is Kamala Harris, who, if Biden was to croak, which he looks like he's about to be honest.
Any second now.
Yeah.
Yeah. She could be the first woman president, which would be another huge step for the country.
Yeah.
Just in, just in, in that sense, not saying her policies would be good or anything like that, but just in like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I was, very happy, obviously, with it. I was excited. It's such a change from George Bush, and it was such a, And the thing is, I remember when John McCain was running. I didn't think, I still don't think that John McCain's a terrible person. I think he's a bit war hawkish,
right.
But he's also been, imprisoned.
He's a vet,
and he wouldn't leave unless they let his other, fellow prisoners go with him. His father was a high-ranking Navy officer, and I believe it was Navy, and they wouldn't, since he had pull, his father's like, get my son out of there, John McCain out of there, and John refused to leave. So, but I remember with McCain, I'm thinking, well, he's not George Bush at all, so that's good. He at least, has something upstairs. But then he went and chose his vice president, and that was enough. I wasn't gonna vote Republican anyway, but when he went with Sarah Palin, I was like, okay, Sarah
Awful.
fucking Palin.
I remember her more than I do Obama during that, during the whole presidential election back then.
Yeah,
just all the crazy shit she would say.
Seeing Russia from her basement or from her bedroom window. That's her foreign policy experience. Katie Couric asked her what magazines or what newspapers she reads for news. She says all of them. She doesn't want to name. Just name one. She couldn't name any. They had her come out, and she won her first speech at the Republican National Convention, or maybe it was like a McCain campaign. Whatever it was, but it really shifted the focus back to McCain, and he actually closed the gap between him and Obama. And then they kept her hidden essentially for a few weeks. Then nobody could talk to her, who was the new vice president, and get to know Sarah Palin and all that jazz. And finally, she did a sit-down interview with Katie Couric, and it all went to shit. And then, SNL with what's her name? Her impression of Sarah Palin was spot on.
Oh, Tina Fey?
Tina Fey's impression of her was spot on, and it just made her look so ridiculous. And that was pretty much it. That was the power of that. It made her a laughingstock, and any momentum John McCain gained from that decision to get Sarah Palin was lost. And that was pretty much the re-election. But that's what I remember about that whole race.
Now, wasn't that also I recall when McCain was running, he was at a rally, and some old woman said something about Obama, because he's Muslim or a terrorist or something, and McCain's just like, no ma'am, no, he's a decent man. Him and I just differ, we have different views on things, but he's a decent family man.
And people were booing him and shit. But then he brought people back on his side, because he was like that.
Just, you would never see anything like that these days.
No,
that was probably the last of it right there of I don't know what you call that, being a decent human being, I guess.
Right. Having some sort of a conscience in politics. What's interesting, you do see that from both sides, but it'll never happen on a Republican platform again. That is for sure. It will be a long time if it ever does. You will never see a Republican, running for president and telling his voters to admit that the other guy is a decent human being, or to suggest that would be, you'd lose the whole race.
Well, it's tribalism. I believe you did an episode on that.
Yeah.
Maybe
check out the tribalism episode
on Spotify. On Spotify. All right. Well, that'll do it for the timeline for 2008. We'll get right into the top 10 movies of the year 2008. Number 10 was Horton Hears a Who.
Okay.
What is
what
that
now? Huh?
What is it?
Never seen it.
Dr. Seuss book turned into a DreamWorks animated film.
Mm-hmm.
Those are always good.
I don't know if it differs from the book. I don't know if it goes off on its own, but I've never seen it. I've never had any desire to see it.
Like a 10-page children's book
Right.
that gets blown into an hour and a half long movie somehow.
Horton not only hears a who, he's got like a drinking problem and
He
drugs
hears a what
and he
and a why
relapses.
and a
Yeah.
how.
Right.
Yeah.
Horton hears the police coming. Anyway, don't know that movie. Don't know that movie at all, really. You let me know how it goes.
Yeah, I don't know.
In the comments below. Number 9, Quantum of Solace, second film in James Bond remake, or not remake, the casting with Daniel Craig. I watched that one because I really liked the first one that they did, but this movie was not really that good. So it's the weakest one of the Daniel Craig Bond films. Number 8 was this movie Twilight. If you've seen that, I've seen that movie twice in my life.
I have not seen it. I've seen bits and
once.
pieces, but I've never seen it all the way through, and I probably never will.
Yeah, you're not missing anything.
It's fun to make fun of.
Yeah, that's
sure. Yeah,
that's true.
Just had no one to make fun of it with.
Right.
I remember there was a scene in that movie that always stayed with me. It's Edward Fellow has Bella on his back, and then he runs up the side of a tree, and it looked like Mario riding Yoshi. It just looked ridiculous, and I was like, oh no. I mean, that's what stuck with me in that movie. Nothing else. Couldn't tell you about the plot or anything. The next movie is Madagascar 2: Escape to Africa. Didn't see the first one.
Cool.
Another DreamWorks animated film
North
for
America
children to go to Africa, back to Africa because that's where they're from. They're going back home.
I was gonna say Madagascar is in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna say because are they is the show or whatever based in North America?
Yeah, I think they were in New York. Yeah.
How'd they get there?
I believe the hunters shot him and took him over in the boat. I don't know. I didn't see the first one, honestly. Again, this is in the same camp as Horton Hears a Who.
Right.
Get ready for another animated film, Kung Fu Panda. That's the next one on the list. Kung Fu Panda.
Man.
Okay.
DreamWorks.
Yep, another film, another kid film. And then we got another one. Next one on the list. Let's see. Number 5, top 5 grossing movie of the year for 2008. WALL-E. Not a bad film.
Great movie.
Never seen it.
Forewarning for what's could happen. A dark look at humanity.
Okay. It is surprisingly dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of underlining things like that. But it's a good film. Don't get me wrong. It's just like all the other Pixar films. Like Finding Nemo's a good film. All these films they make are really good. I just don't ever watch them again. It's one of those one and done. I've seen it. But it's worth checking out at least once. WALL-E. Top 4 movie or in terms of gross, Hancock with Will Smith. Didn't see it, didn't care to see it. Looked like some shitty superhero movie that
I was gonna say he's like the
I don't know.
He's like a drunk he's like a drunk superhero.
Yes.
And nobody likes him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nobody believes in him anymore.
Top 3 movie 2008, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Oh my god.
Holy fuck.
Oh my god.
Holy fuck. I saw this
I never
movie.
saw it. I've just seen bits and pieces and heard a lot about it.
I saw that movie and
boy.
The first bit of it I knew what I was in for, and it's like someone watching a movie, you've got a smile on your face thinking okay, and then 15 minutes in, the smile slowly starts to go down to just a straight line across the face, and then about 45 minutes in, it's a full frown, and you just can't, it's the first 10 minutes is he's running away from Nazis again, and he's doing these crazy jumps and swinging on ropes. He just manages to find. And not only that, He's got to escape an atomic bomb that's being tested. So now he's going to like this phony, fake, like built little town with like mannequins as for people, all that stuff, just like act like they're living life in this phony town to gonna get destroyed by this nuclear bomb. I'm not sure why they went to the lengths to test this out. And he finds himself a fridge that he empties out, and it's lined with lead fridge. It points it out in the film, so you see, oh, it's got lead. So he gets in this lead coated fridge. The bomb goes off, and the fridge launches him like 40 miles in the desert, and it rolls, and he lets himself out, dusts himself off, and he's good to go. So just in case anybody's ever wondering, how they used to say, like, get under your desk, get all, nope, just find the fridge, get in the fridge, you're good to go. That's when the smile went away, and I was like, oh no, oh God.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really fucking stupid, terrible movie. I don't even think of it as part of the Indiana Jones, it's just that trilogy. Ignore that movie, that doesn't exist. And I hear they're coming up with another one, so yay.
Oh no.
Yeah. All right, do you guys, you've never seen that, Brad? Nick, you've seen it?
No.
Yeah, I've seen it. I hate it.
Oh, that scene where
sucks.
Shia
LaBeouf is swinging from vine to vine.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
on YouTube.
Yeah,
but like you mentioned the fridge surviving the nuclear blast scene. I was going to mention that, but you mentioned it already.
Yeah,
ridiculous bullshit.
So that they're testing a nuclear bomb. What year does this movie take place?
50s.
Is it like the 1950? Oh, it is. Okay, then that makes sense.
Yeah, it's in the 50s. So they got that part right. Also in the 1950s, apparently aliens contacted with Earth and met Indiana.
Oh yeah, that's right.
All that
At the end, you find out the crystal skull.
Oh wait, hold up. What year did the other ones take place in?
40s. I mean, it's the Nazis.
So
right, they were the Nazis.
Okay, so like
still fighting Nazis in the 50s.
So in 10 years, Indiana Jones aged like 30 years.
Yep.
Well, hey, he's been through a lot.
Just making
man.
sure.
He just got blasted by a nuclear bomb, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right, we gotta move on here. I mean, we don't have to, but we probably should. Number 2 movie of the year in terms of gross: Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man.
I like those Iron Man movies.
Yeah, he's they're in terms of casting for a character. Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark. He's just, he personifies. He is that guy. Like, they could have based Tony Stark off of Robert Downey Jr. The other way around, it would have been the same. So, excellent casting.
That's great because they can't decide on a Batman, because it's like you usually see like Batman is basically the opposite or the same, just in a different category as Iron Man.
Right? Yeah,
like a billionaire that doesn't really have powers but uses gadgets in his suit.
Right.
So what I'm saying is that they can't find a Batman over the years, but they found their Iron Man. So I'm wondering who's going to play him when Tony Stark, or well, not Tony Stark. I even call him that. That's so funny. When Downey Jr. passes,
away. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Maybe he's got a son that's just like him. They can just have him do it.
All right.
Robert Downey Jr.
I wonder it's going to be the guy from Twilight.
Oh, Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, why not?
Just make him both roles.
Make him all the superheroes.
Yeah. All right, number 1 film in terms of gross for the year. This is one of the few times that I feel that they actually got it right. In a way, I really do, because there's only one other movie that I would say is really good in 2008 to this level. The Dark Knight. I loved. That's like my favorite. It's one of my favorite superhero movies. Heath Ledger as the Joker, Christian Bale as Batman. I saw that in theaters with Timmy, and just the whole thing. I never, that whole movie. I saw it. I think like maybe 3 times in theaters. It was. I watched it. I bought it as soon as it came out. It's one of my all-time favorite superhero movies. Now there's some issues with it. Don't get me wrong. Every film pretty much has that, unless you're like Scorsese or a Kubrick or something. But
sure,
this Chris Nolan film is very good, and I think the best one out of all 3 is The Dark Knight. But yeah, and I really liked it because I wanted it to take down Titanic as the top grossing movie of all time. and it didn't. It came close. It didn't do it though. So, but it just Heath Ledger won an Oscar for it posthumously. He just it's just really good. They couldn't really say too much about it because, well, I mean, I can go on for a long time. But yeah, The Dark Knight
for sure. I mean, like he basically took that role, and now he is that role. Mm-hmm. So now it's really hard to actually make another Joker,
right,
and give that role to somebody else because there's such big shoes to fill now, in a sense.
Right. I mean, even with future Batman films, villains that aren't the Joker base their personality a lot on the Joker. If you were to ask, if you saw the new Batman film, Paul Dano, excellent, phenomenal actor. He did an excellent job as the Riddler. But and it's not his fault. I mean, what are you supposed to do? He's the Riddler, but he sounds like a little bit like Heath Ledger's Joker, and I just don't know if you can ever. He made such an impact with that character that it still resonates today, which is amazing. So it just speaks to the whole thing. And that is the top 10 for movies in terms of gross for the year 2000. Now my personal film selections to 2008, and I will make sure to put this down in the comments, or not in the description below, so everyone who's watching can check it out. But my first personal film selection 2008 is the movie Doubt, which is I believe a play that was made into a film. It's got Philip Seymour Hoffman in it, and it's got what's her name? She's a phenomenal actress. She's like one of the best of all time. She constantly gets nominated. It's got like Amy Adams in it as well. She's considered the GOAT. She actually was called the GOAT, and by Jonah Hill and I believe, I can't remember who else it was. She actually thought they were referring to her as a goat, like an actual goat, not like the greatest of all time. Old school,
right?
But Doubt, it's a very, very good film. It's about a priest, Philip Seymour Hoffman, who is accused of molesting a child, but no one is actually sure if he actually did it. If there's actually, and then throughout the film, there's twists and turns where you're thinking, did he do it? Did he not do it? You know, and the person, I can't, this pissed me off. Meredith, what's her name? Meredith Street? Oh, God damn it. Whatever. I'm just going to look it up now. I don't care. Let's see.
I've never seen this movie. Yeah. I've never even heard of it.
Neither have I. Yeah, I never.
But I'm definitely interested.
Yeah, I can't think of her name. It's just pissing me off, and I'm so sorry. Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Amy Adams, Viola Davis, fantastic actress as well. But it's you go back and forth and you don't know, and it's so well done. And I watched it. I really liked it. So that's one of my personal picks. I'd say for 2008. The next one, movie that they absolutely couldn't make today, Tropic Thunder. That came out in 2008. Is that Robert Downey Jr.'s finest role? Maybe. But that's just so ridiculous. It's a Ben Stiller flick. Simple Jack.
Yep.
God. What's his name? Jack Black. Every addicted to heroin. The guy who's supposed to be the based off the book, the movie, the whole thing is a phony the whole time. He's got a fake hook for a hand. He's actually got a hand. That's movie with Tom Cruise plays I can't remember his name.
Yeah, his character's great.
He does he's got like these furry arms, and I knew it was Tom Cruise the whole time. Somehow it shocked people. Right. But for me, I saw that's obviously Tom Cruise, and he's just an asshole the whole time. Funny little tidbit. Well, not funny. Interesting, I guess you can call it. Maybe even a little bit tragic little tidbit about this movie. Matthew McConaughey's character was originally supposed to be played by Owen Wilson. But Owen Wilson, the movie was filmed in Hawaii. They were all in Hawaii, and in Hawaii, he attempted suicide or was talking about suicide. Really? So they took him off the movie to help get himself straightened out, and they had Matthew McConaughey replace his character. So originally that was supposed to be Owen Wilson. Wow. Which he would have been great in that too. But it was such a funny movie.
I remember going to the theater with you. Yeah, but I was underage, but I couldn't go in with you, even though you were technically like a guardian, I guess, right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I was,
but it was
but
it was so bad apparently that they wouldn't even let me in.
Right. Well, we went to, I don't know. I think if we'd gone to our like Valpo or something like that, we'd have been okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tropic Thunder. Next movie is another classic. This is Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly, Step Brothers.
Oh yeah.
Endlessly quotable.
Mm-hmm.
Just hilarious. Every person in that film is expertly, cast and all that. So I
for sure.
I can't think of just one line. Yeah, he puts his balls on the guy's drum set, and just he's like, it's like masturbating in a time machine when he's got all the nudie magazines. The family singing "Sweet Child of Mine," just freaking out. Adam Scott playing a dickhead is so ridiculous. That might be that's just one of those things that when they pretend to be like a Ku Klux Klan member, a Nazi living next door, God, it's just the boats and hose, the rap. He wrecks the boat. So good. Everything about that movie. Yeah, Step Brothers. Another personal film selection of 2008, Cloverfield. That one, I like that movie. The only problem is it made me sick. I went and saw it in theaters, and about 45 minutes in, I started getting really nauseous. I had to look down. I couldn't really watch the movie from what I saw.
The shaky camera.
Yeah. The handheld camera that just made me sick. Yeah. But I thought it was a really good movie. I was excited for the sequels, but I don't know if they ever really made a true sequel. I don't know how that works. I know there's like Cloverfield Lane or something like that. There's one with John Goodman.
Yes, that's 10 Cloverfield Lane. That's a really good movie.
Is that a sequel to that movie? I don't know. Or
it takes place in the same universe, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then there's the Cloverfield Paradox, which I think is the prequel to the first Cloverfield.
Oh, okay.
It kind of leads up to the event that spawned that monster in the first place.
Interesting.
But 10 Cloverfield Lane, that's more just like a psychological horror movie because John Goodman's fucking crazy in it. And it's awesome.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that in terms of clips, so I know like the twists and all that. But yeah, I should check those movies out. Another personal pick of mine, Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I loved what's his name? I always do that.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I forget his name. He's hilarious. He's Ant-Man. He's
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd does his Mac and Me. Yeah, Paul Rudd's character in that. He's like this stoned like surfer guy, teaches surfing.
Yeah.
The puppets, the song at the end, the
the vampire musical.
Yeah, all that stuff. It's so good.
The vampire musical is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember Sly used to know how to play it.
I'm sure he still does. Yeah, yeah, he'd play it.
And I remember at one of your guys' shows, I yelled it out. Vampire musical. He just started playing it. It was brilliant.
He's like, die, I can't. It's so good. Yeah, props to Jason Segel for doing full frontal nudity on that. Yeah,
right.
This guy's got I would say he's got balls, but I've seen it. He's got some balls. All right. Also, what's his name? Back before I kind of think he's just kind of a bloated asshole now. Russell Brand. That was my first introduction to Russell Brand in that movie with his song about being inside you, and it's just so overly graphic.
Right.
It's just, and he's just like this empty-headed rock star. It's so funny. But yeah, that Forgetting Sarah Marshall, very funny. I liked it. Probably this next pick is probably my favorite movie of the year. I would say that and The Dark Knight. Burn After Reading. Coen Brothers film. It's so fucking good.
Yeah,
so good.
You don't hear much about that one, but yeah, it's a really good one.
Yeah.
So
George Clooney's character is my favorite.
He sees Brad Pitt in the closet. Brad Pitt's just smiling, this goofy ass smile, and he shoots him right in the fucking head.
Yeah. Oh, and J.K. Simmons is so good.
Yeah. So what happened? Go on. Sorry.
Oh, what does he say? He's like, well, when do you want me to come back? When it makes sense. He's just like so flabbergasted about the whole situation.
And he's like, what does she want? Well, she wants, she'll make this deal. She said she'll talk to us, but she wants money for plastic surgery. Why would she go to the Russians? We're not sure, sir. We're not sure. So what happened to him? Oh, well, we took care of it, sir. Oh, okay. So what happened? So what's the end then? Not much. We didn't. Oh, okay. All right then. And then it just ends.
And then he just pays for it. He ends
it.
up paying for it. And
that's it. Yeah. God. And the guy who was in Step Brothers, the father, he's like the guy who's got a crush on what's her face in the movie.
Oh yeah.
And he's a really good. I felt so bad for him. He's stuck. He's just trying to help out. And he's like, "What are you doing in my house?" Oh God, John Malkovich is fucking amazing in that movie.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this? This is this is an assault. This is what this is. And he's writing a book, and she takes it. Oh God, it's so fucking funny.
Brad Pitt trying to do this, like trying to talk on the phone.
Right,
is so great.
Oh my God, Oswald Cox. Is this? Yes, this is Oswald. Who the fuck is this? Why are you calling me? I have some hot shit, Oswald Cox. Stop saying my name. It's so good. All right, we'll move on though. But honestly, that's probably Burn After Reading, probably my favorite movie of the year.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Next movie I got Zack and Miri Make a Porno. I watched that movie. I liked it.
Oh, yeah.
It's set in Pittsburgh. It's got a lot of Pittsburgh Penguins stuff in that movie. Right. Probably one of the last Kevin Smith films I thought wasn't terrible. But
have you seen Tusk?
I couldn't watch that movie.
No,
I don't like weird transformation.
Clerks?
Yeah,
Clerks coming out.
I'm not really interested in that. Honestly, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know that.
Really?
Yeah. Speaking of Tusk, Nick, you still owe me like the hour and a half that I wasted watching that.
Oh yeah, am I the one that recommended?
Yeah, you're the one that recommended it. Yes.
Oh yeah, and you hated it.
Yeah, absolutely hated it, and not even in a so bad it's good way. Just so bad it's so bad.
I feel like you must have pissed Nick off or something. Why would he suggest such a movie? Yeah,
I don't know.
I think I was pretty messed up. I might have been pretty.
I don't know.
Yeah, well,
I was drinking a little bit.
I had
giving out bad recommendations.
I have this thing with like transformation, like where people get bodily transformed, like Human Centipede, Tusk. It's just weird.
Fly
was done okay because it was a general sort of thing, and it wasn't like someone doing it to him. He did it to himself.
Right.
That's where I'm okay with it.
You get to see the gradual.
Yeah. So that's one thing, but that Tusk I couldn't get into. But I don't know, Kevin Smith, not as a person, I think he's a fantastic guy. I wish him all the best. I'm glad he's still with us, after his heart attack.
Sure.
His
definitely
tremendous hockey fan, comic book fan, just really good person, seems like, from what I can see. But his movies, I feel like you don't have to keep making them if you don't want to, but if he wants to, more power to him, but I'm not going to go see him.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, he wants to make shitty movies, go for it.
Yeah, exactly.
I got nothing against the guy.
Well, Brad, I'm just going to have to pay for a movie ticket, I guess, for a movie you want to go see.
No, I want the time back.
I can't give you the time back, Brad. You got to let that go. No. You got to move on, pal. I mean, there's nothing I could do for you there.
I got to take an hour and a half off your life somehow.
No, just
well, just give me a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah, there it is.
Buy me a few packs of smokes. Yeah, you buy me a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah, that doesn't make any fucking sense. I'm working on it.
Yeah, think of something. Have someone buy you a pack of smokes, Brad, and then give that pack of smokes to Nick.
That makes perfect sense.
There you
go.
All right, we'll move on now. Another movie that came out, personal pick. I liked it. It was an interesting look. It was a bit more sympathetic than I thought it was going to be, but W came out. It was a movie about George Bush. The movie that came out in 2008 that I had to travel to, I think 45 minutes to an hour to go see because no theaters would show it at all. the only ones that would show like a couple in Chicago and like one in the area other than that, and it was Religulous.
Oh yeah, I saw that with you.
Okay.
In Cherville.
Yeah. It was
nice.
Like what? Yeah, but that was the only one that would show it. Was it Cherville, or I thought it was Crown Point, or maybe it was Cherville. I don't know. There's one out there.
It was a drive.
Yeah, it was a drive just to go see the movie. It's a good movie. Funny, heartbreaking, shocking, not shocking. All the above. Religulous. Another movie that came out that I'm gonna pick. Gran Torino. I thought that was a good one. Clint Eastwood film.
I don't really remember that one. I did see it though.
It's not bad.
He's a racist old man who learns who learns to overcome his racism.
Kinda. He gets his comeuppance. Spoiler alert. I didn't think it was a bad film.
All right.
Next film I got two more here. First one is Pineapple Express. I watched that. That's funny. Stoner film. I've seen it a couple times, but not really. It's not like, oh yeah, Pineapple Express. It's just like, oh okay. I'll watch it for a little bit. I usually get kind of bored with it, but I didn't think it was bad. It's probably my least. That and maybe Gran Torino are probably my least personal films, but still kind of a thing. I'll watch it.
There was Pineapple Express. What was the one that took place around Christmas time? That was like a stoner comedy with Seth Rogen and.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. It's got like Seth Rogen. It's got Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's got.
Oh, The Night Before.
Yeah, The Night Before. Yeah.
I saw that one.
Yeah. At one point, I think they take mushrooms. They always take mushrooms. And my last pick for 2008 personal selection, Gonzo, The Life and Work of Hunter S. Thompson. You should be able to check that out on Amazon. Excellent documentary on Hunter S. Thompson. Worth a watch. All right, we will now move to worst movies of 2008.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Do you? If I don't,
I looked up movies 2008 just to see what came out, and
all right, my first one,
definitely one of them.
My first one. I'll see if I mention it. I might not. If I don't, make sure to mention it. Worst movies. You Don't Mess with the Zohan. The Adam Sandler movie where he's like a hairdresser.
Yeah, I never
he gets
seen
into wacky adventures. This is one of those judging by the covers. It's terrible. Is that the one you were talking about, Brad? No. Okay. The next movie for worst movies of 2008, Beverly Hills Chihuahua. Yeah, that's a fucking terrible movie.
I kind of remember that.
They made sequels back then. Like it's like in the vein of like Super Babies. No. Or Baby Genius or Super Babies too. Yeah. Yep. It
does.
Yeah.
Does it have the Taco Bell dog voice?
He refused. He felt he was being typecast. Yeah. The next movie I've got for worst movies, saw this in theaters, The Happening.
There it is.
The Happening. Mark Wahlberg. That was such a shit fucking movie.
Yeah.
So fucking stupid. So bad in every conceivable way. The acting, the dialogue, everything. Bad.
I didn't see it in theaters, but I think I've seen it like 3 or 4 times. just trying to wrap my head around it, trying to get it. What is this movie?
Yeah. We got. I remember there was a scene where Mark, he was like, there was like an old lady they were staying with, and it shows up like in the middle of the night, like she's in the hallway all of a sudden, and she's like, "Have you come to kill me?" And he's like, "No, ma'am, no. You're here to kill me, aren't you?" "No, ma'am, no." It's like a cut and paste. It's so bad. It's the most overacted. "No, ma'am, no," and just everything is. Angry that I saw that movie in theaters. Bad choice.
Remember the hot dog guy?
Hot dog guy. No,
he had like the greenhouse with his wife.
Okay, I remember that.
And he talks about hot dogs.
Yeah. What were the hot dogs? Is that the one where
he just talks about hot dogs for no reason?
I don't remember. I remember the greenhouse. I remember them staying with people. I remember somebody was in one part where they couldn't get to, and they can only talk to him through like the pipe in a wall. I don't remember what that was about. And then I remember at the end of the movie there was the twist. Oh, it's still going on. The plants have revolted, and they're still pissed off.
I haven't seen this this whole movie. I've only seen a little bit.
Oh, you should.
And it just, man, I don't know. Is it worth it? Like,
I don't even.
It seems really bad.
Yes. Watch it. Absolutely. Tusk. Absolutely watch The Happening. Tusk.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Tusk is better than The Happening.
We'll see.
No.
No, The Happening is better?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. That's Tusk is a pretty low bar then, huh?
Tusk might be the worst thing I've ever seen.
I don't know. You've watched The Room.
But the Room is fun to watch, at least, because you can make fun of it. Even if you're by yourself, you're at least laughing at how bad it is.
Right.
Same thing with The Happening.
Yeah, that's true.
You feel like you don't need a shower afterwards or something like that, like you do with Tusk. It's just yeah. Another movie I got for worst movies, Speed Racer. They did Speed Racer, and they did like this overly CGI'd Speed Racer with Emile Hirsch. It flopped, horribly flopped. Just really bad movie. Speed Racer. I think, and then the next movie we got, see if you guys remember this. Nick, you might remember this. Fireproof. Do you remember that movie, Fireproof?
Is that like the Christian movie?
Yep. That movie everyone was like all about, at least the Christian community. Yeah. That's the worst movie for 2008.
Kirk Cameron.
That's all you need to say.
Oh, yeah.
That's all you need to say. Kirk Cameron is associated with Fireproof. Need I say more?
He turns to The Love-Dare, a Christian self-help book. Guy embarks on a 40-day mission to rescue his marriage from the looming specter of divorce. Wow, how exciting.
Yeah.
A divorce movie.
Yep. Fireproof.
But then God saves it, apparently.
Yep. Apparently.
Of course.
Cool.
He has like a menage a trois between him, Jesus, and her.
I see the cover for Fireproof. The double O's and proof are two wedding rings.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I see.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
We'll move on here. Another worst movie for 2008. Probably the worst movie of 2008. The Love Guru. With Mike Myers.
Oh, no.
I've heard bad things.
When he's like a guru for like the Maple Leafs. The Toronto Maple Leafs are associated with this movie heavily.
I know.
Justin Timberlake in it. Mini-Me's in it. I know that's not his name, but Vern Troyer.
Vern Troyer.
Yeah.
For Christ's sake.
His name was Vern Troyer.
His name.
Poor guy didn't even get a. He didn't even get a. What do they call it? The Oscars, where they show all the dead people. He didn't even. Get
post memoriam sort of thing. Memorial.
Yeah, in memoriam or whatever. He didn't even. They didn't even have him.
It could have been a small part. I've seen that guy naked and piss on a floor, on his little scooter. Yeah, it was on like a celebrity, like house, like all a bunch of like B, C list celebrities get together in a house, kind of like Big Brother sort of thing. It was on VH1.
Right.
Vern Troyer was a part of that.
I thought you were actually there. Like,
no,
right? It's like what?
I saw a video of him, like it's just watching him roll around in this cart. He's drunk and he just pissing on the rug, and he like looks over slowly, like, "What are you doing?" And he's got these weird little voice. Yeah, but,
been there.
Love Guru. Yeah.
I've never seen. Have you seen it?
Me? No,
I've never.
God, no.
I've never seen it either.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, I'm a huge Leafs fan, but it has nothing to do with that.
Right. Gotta. I hope not.
Probably not a big fan of the movie.
Right. If that was your first introduction to the Maple Leafs, you hate hockey in general. So the next movie I've got for worst movies, Beer for My Horses. A song was turned into a movie, starring the guy who created the song. And Willie Nelson, they're just like, you know what? We got a song. Mob will make a whole fucking movie. And so, yeah, Beer for My Horses. It's like Rodney Carrington, Willie Nelson.
We watched this, didn't we?
Toby. We tried to.
We could. I think we did.
Did we watch the whole thing? Because I don't recall.
We watched the whole thing. Yeah.
I don't remember.
This movie, if you could only imagine, fucking sucks. Yeah. It sucks so bad, dude. It is one of the worst movies I've. Tusk.
Did Baller make us watch that?
I feel like you, me, and Baller maybe watched it.
We all in agreement. Beer for My Horses.
I mean, God damn, it was just.
It was awful.
Just trashy.
It's really
trashy.
Bad. And my last pick for worst movies.
You didn't even mention the name of the guy. It was Toby Keith.
Toby
back.
fucking
He's
Keith.
back
Toby
on this
Keith.
podcast
He's
again.
back on that. Yep, he comes full circle, you know.
Yeah, the movie was written by Rodney Carrington and Toby Keith. And W.T. Scraggs, whoever that is. Oh, it stars Toby Keith, too.
Yep,
And
yep.
Rodney
It sure
Carrington.
does.
Yeah.
He's the main character.
And Willie Nelson and Ted
Yep.
Nugent.
And Ted
Ted
fucking
Nugent, that's right.
Wow, okay.
Fucking hell.
You thought it was trashy, and then they end up with Ted Nugent, and then you're like, oh, okay, this is absolute dumpster fire.
If it makes you guys feel any better, it totally bombed big time.
Wow.
A $10 million budget, and it made $667,000. Someone got their thumbs cut off.
Oh man, that is great.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
Toby Keith owes somebody some money.
Probably hoping for another attack on America so he can write a song about it, make that money back, make
Right.
another movie. The cycle continues.
Oh yeah.
And the last pick for worst movie of 2008, worst movies of 2008, Witless Protection, with Larry the Cable Guy.
Larry the Cable Guy.
Every
Man,
fucking movie.
Larry the Cable Guy has come up on this podcast a few times now.
Yeah, he's just in the worst of the worst. He just manages to
Yeah,
he swims
right.
he swims in that sea, I guess.
I think it just goes to show that the 2000s were a very, very dark time culturally.
Blue collar
For the
comedy
world.
and just
The blue collar comedy. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just,
Oh man, that's
I don't know.
funny.
How did
I
we
think
even
it's-
survive?
well, blue collar. I'd be offended, incredibly offended that this gets put into anything that I'd be. If I was blue collar, I guess in a way I kind of am. In the job title I have, it's a blue collar job. You know what? Actually, I take that back. You know what? They're spot on. That actually is the comedy of these blue collar. Never mind. Back up. I mean it. Yep, that's true. Actually, never mind. All right, we will move on to top albums now. Gross of 2008. Number 10, The Ultimate Hits for Garth Brooks. It was the 10th
All right.
highest grossing album of 2008. Now, this is like I was saying a couple podcasts or for reviews ago, the top 10 albums change. You'll get a weird one on there now. Carnival Ride by Carrie Underwood. The Carnival Ride, the album Carnival Ride. Number 9. Number 8 was Now 26. Now 26, number 8. Number 7, Viva La Vida by Coldplay. That was the time that album came out that year. The next one, Rock and Roll Jesus by Kid Rock.
Nice.
Came out. That was there. Taylor Swift's debut album, Taylor Swift. She finally, we'll start to hear from her now. Apparently, Long Road Out of Eden sold quite well for the albums. The Eagles, Long Road Out of Eden. That's because the people that bought those albums were like 60 and they buy CDs still. They don't buy them online. That's why that, I'm assuming, is number 4. Number 3, The Carter 3, Lil Wayne. That was this year. That was the year of Lil Wayne. Number 2, Noel, Josh Groban, a Christmas album, made it for number 2. And
Cool.
As I Am by Alicia Keys was the number 1 grossing album of 2008. My personal picks for 2008, I've got one that's kind of a personal pick, I guess. I mean, it's a personal pick, but it's not necessary that you listen to it at all. The Raconteurs, the Jack White Band, Consolers of the Lonely.
Oh yeah.
There's like 3 songs
Sure.
on that album at best that I think worth listening to.
See, I just
Level,
remember
I like
Definitely.
Level.
Steady as She Goes.
Yeah.
Right? Wasn't that?
Steady as She
That's
Goes.
the only song.
Levels.
That was the hit one, I guess.
And Consolers of the Lonely, that's one. Those 3 songs, I'd say that's it. But my real personal pick for 2008, Sigur Rós' album, which I believe translates to like Our Ears Are Ringing, but we play endlessly. It's got Festival on it. The song that was
There's a
used
lot of
in
really good songs.
147 Hours, just for reference there. But yeah, it's
Right.
fantastic.
Yeah, I remember.
Excellent album.
I pre-ordered that album, and
Mhm.
I think my dad dropped it off for me because I lived, oddly enough, at Shandana Point at the time.
Nice. Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh.
Yeah,
Well-
my first go at this place.
Be funny. It's funny if you like something. No, like they were like your picture up on the wall, like "Do not let this person in," but it's like from like 2008.
I'm surprised I got the place.
We'll move on now to worst albums of 2008. We have New Kids on the Block's album titled The Block.
Ooh.
Panned. Horrible. New Kids on the Block. We finally get to find out what The Block is, and it wasn't worth the 20-year wait. Just absolute.
Were they still new though?
Old
Kids on the block?
Very old senior citizens.
They're old men on the block.
Right. Yeah. Middle-aged men on the block.
Reanimated corpses on the block.
Yeah. Another album for worst album of the year, Nickelback's Dark Horse, the follow-up to their All the Right Reasons Rockstar album. Just
like their version of the Black Album.
It's rehashed guitar riffs, melodies, everything. Nickelback, Dark Horse. Another album for worst album of the year, Chinese Democracy by Guns N' Roses, the long-awaited, anticipated
my God.
Chinese Democracy.
What happened with that?
Was that like 11, 12 years in production or something? I don't know.
Something like that, yeah.
It was so fucking terrible. Timmy showed me it. He couldn't wait.
I bet.
Yeah, check this out. And I was like,
That's
oh, damn it.
I haven't even listened to that. I have to listen to that now.
Like it's Axl Rose. And maybe the worst album.
Course.
It's only Axl Rose.
Fucking
Slash
hell.
isn't there. I don't know if any of the band is there.
That's so. Oh my God, that sounds cringy.
And now I've got worst albums of the year. The last one I'm going to name here is Shwayze's debut album, Shwayze.
Who is Shwayze?
We'll get to that in a second.
Top songs about Shwayze.
Top songs of 2008. Low, Flo Rida featuring T-Pain, which is Florida, I guess. Yeah, Low. I think that's is that the Get Low song? I don't know.
No, that's Lil Jon.
That's Lil Jon. Well, then what's Low? I don't remember Low. I don't know. It looks familiar, but I don't recall what it sounds like. That I don't think it's important.
I remember it.
Yeah. Another top song of 2008, Bleeding Love by Leona Lewis. I remember that song. Every girl that was going through a hard time with her boyfriend or whatever was just blasting that song. It was their anthem. Mm-hmm. It was all over the place. Number 3, No One by Alicia Keys. That's another top song of 2008.
God.
Yeah. That's infinitely better from what we're going to head into here. So if Alicia Keys is a high point there. Number 4, we've got Lollipop.
Sucks.
Lollipop featuring Lil Wayne featuring Static Major. You lick me like a lollipop. Yeah, it's
I remember.
Yeah.
Garbage.
Yep. And we got Apologize, One Republic featuring Timbaland. It's too late.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
God.
Too late.
Oh.
Too late. Too late.
Oh no.
Oh man.
Then we got No Air, Jordan Sparks featuring Chris Brown.
No, I'm good on that.
Yeah. It's like, tell me how I'm supposed to breathe with no air. Tell me how I'm supposed to breathe with no air. Something about you being not there.
Oh yeah.
Nowhere. I don't know.
I'm trying to listen to these songs as you're saying them.
I don't know. I cannot tell you how you're supposed to breathe with no air. I cannot.
Yeah, it's a good question. They bring up a good point. Tell me how am I supposed to breathe with no air?
Yeah, can't live, can't breathe with no air. It's how I feel whenever you ain't there. It's no air.
Wow.
No air.
It could just be asthma. I mean, have they looked into that? You know, it could just be like a nervous.
I feel like maybe she got launched into the vacuum of space. That's what I'm thinking.
By Chris Brown's fist. I could see that happening.
Ooh,
oh, come on, man.
We got Love Song by Sarah Bareilles. I like this chick. She's good. She's real good. Listen to her cover of Yellow Brick Road by Elton John, obviously. But
oh yeah,
so good.
Sarah.
She does different things. Very vocally excellent. Writes her own songs. This song is actually a response to her record label, who are pissed that she didn't have a love song on her album because she's a woman. She's supposed to have a love song, And she was like,
Oh,
"Fuck
yeah,
you!
I know this.
I'm gonna write this love song, and I'm gonna make it the cheesiest shit you've ever heard." And go figure, it sells. And I was like, her breakout. Right. It was the "fuck you" to the album, the company, and the record company, and it made it a big hit. But no, check out her cover of Yellow Brick Road. You will not be disappointed.
I'm just gonna keep this on in the background.
Another song that came on is "Love in This Club." Usher featuring Young Jeezy. Don't even fucking remember this song.
Love in This Club.
Yeah. I don't remember it at all.
Who's this by? Usher?
Yeah, I feel it might be the one where he's like, "The DJs fall in love again," or something like that. Something like that. It could be wrong.
Oh,
it could be wrong.
Maybe.
We'll move on there, so Brad doesn't have to listen to it too long. Chris Brown's song "Forever," the song that was played at Jim and Pam's wedding when they go down the aisle.
I didn't watch that episode.
What? Yeah,
I didn't get that far.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, but that Chris Brown song. It was a big year for Chris Brown. He was all over the place. There's other Chris Brown songs, but I chose that one. "Viva La Vida" by Coldplay, that came out. I remember that. That played for some reason, like during the intermissions when I was watching playoff hockey. Pens are playing. And during the commercial breaks, when it would go, in the middle of playoff hockey game, they would be "Viva La Vida," which is like supposed to get you amped up for the game. Least amped up song I think you could pick for a fucking NHL game. I remember just being like confused as hell. This was the year they went to the Stanley Cup and lost to Detroit, though. So next song we've got "I Kissed a Girl" by Katy Perry. She makes her debut in the world.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I remember that. Just being like, okay, And it wasn't the worst song I ever heard. I just remember thinking it was kind of like gimmicky in the sense that she was only singing this to get attention, but good for her because how else are you supposed to get attention? So it seemed to be a good thought out process. Katy Perry. Another song, "Whatever You Like" by T.I. I remember that song. No, you can have whatever you like. You can have whatever you like. Red ball barrel. Oh, no, hell down, something, whatever. You can have whatever you like. Yeah.
Good God. I don't recall that one.
Oh, man.
Then we got "Bubbly" by Colby Calais. Just a real soft rock, kind of in the Sheryl Crow vein of just the singer, songwriter chick. Basically kind of, just it's Sarah Bareilles, but she uses a guitar, "Bubbly." I'm trying to remember how that song goes. It's something about starts in her nose, goes to her toes, feeling goes. I don't know. It's just a lot of rhyming in that way.
That shit.
Yeah.
I know that song. Yeah.
It's like, you make me smile, please stay for a while. That song. That song. Yeah. All right. We'll go to the next one. "Shake It" by Metro Station. Holy shit.
What the fuck?
Shake it.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you.
So you're standing right there.
Shut up, dude.
You got a buzz, but you bump it down.
Oh my God.
I was thinking that maybe I could get inside.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Your impression was dead on.
Metro Station, right? Oh my God.
Don't you do it like this? Don't you do it like that? Don't you do it?
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember this song.
Shake it. Every emo kid was jumping for joy.
No. It's these fucking scene kids. They came out like fucking 4 or 5 years later, and these people like this ruined the whole fucking thing. The whole fucking thing. There wasn't even a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh God.
God. Well, so for prevent Nick from going to an aneurysm, we will move on to the next one.
Yes. Let's do it.
"I'm Yours" by Jason Mraz. And he's like, "Well, you done done,
Yeah.
So something was like, "So I don't hesitate," something like that. Yeah. "I'm yours." do do do. He's got like that do 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 part. Do 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 do.
What's actually really what's actually really funny about all this is that like all of these bad songs of all of these years in like the 2000s that we've been doing, a lot of them are songs that play at work.
That's funny.
Like, at my job, like on a consistent basis. So like and this year seems to hold a lot of them, because the one you just said, that plays. The one you said before, that plays. Thank fucking Christ Metro Station doesn't play.
Well, let's see.
All of this stuff, man.
Does Take You There by Sean Kingston play?
What's that?
He said, we could go to the tropics, sip pina coladas. Shorty, I could take you there. Yeah.
No, it does not.
There's not a bad little change in terms of melody and like progression in the song, but I don't think he wrote it, so fuck him. I'm almost 100% certain this fucker did not write it. But that's it for not for my personal selections. My personal selection is one song, and it's Festival by Sigur Rós, because I can pronounce it. And there's other great songs, but yeah, there's that. That's my only selection for this fucking year. Everything else you can do with what you want. But now we're gonna go to worst songs. To start it off, we've got Kid Rock, All Summer Long, the ripoff of Warren Zevon and Sweet Home Alabama, with his hillbilly, redneck, white trash, beer guzzling, cousin fucking crew, just hanging out singing this goddamn song. Every white trash individual I knew was all about this song in the summer. You know, we were trying different things, smoking funny things. You know, fuck off. Fuck this song. Fuck that guy. Sorry. Thoughts? Anybody like Kid Rock? It's All Summer Long.
Fuck, hate Kid Rock. Hate Kid Rock. I once played this song at Inman's on a school trip. And Rosie was there. He was like, you know, looking over all of us. And I went and played not this song, but I played the Warren Zevon song, right? Werewolves of London.
Yeah, Werewolves of London.
And everyone at the school, everyone at the school that was there, you know, went nuts because they thought it was All Summer Long. But then it turned out to be Werewolves of London, right? And everyone just didn't know what was going on. And it was actually, it was hysterical. It was hysterical.
That sounds good.
And Rosie got a kick out of it.
Oh yeah, he would.
I don't know if he knew what was going on, but I just remember him telling me, "Hey, if you're doing songs in the jukebox, you should play a song from Yes next."
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah,
he was into the prog rock.
So just to clarify, Rosie was a teacher that taught at the school we all went to. So people just have an idea of who the hell Rosie is. His name isn't actually Rosie either. It's Roslansky. It's a nickname. Rosie. So it's that's his last name. But he was a really cool teacher, basically like the vice principal of our school, essentially. Although I never had him, I always really liked him. But yeah, Rosie would pick Yes. He was the one of the best math teachers.
He was a math robot.
Yeah.
He was powered by cigarettes.
Nicotine in coffee.
God, he would be like 20 minutes late for class and just come in reeking of cigarettes. And then not even look. He would glance at the page of the book we were on, and then he would close the book and just start doing crazy math problems.
Yeah.
I don't think he wouldn't even say anything. He just barged in. He just started writing crazy equations.
I had a lot of detentions, and he was the guy that oversaw it. He was always really cool with them. And I won't get into it because it's a very long story. But yeah, I skipped detention last day of school and my junior year. We came back senior year, first day, made a scene. Roslansky remembered from the previous year that I skipped, brought me to the side and said, "Mr. Boyd, skipping skipping detention, smart if you're a senior, or smart if you're a senior, stupid if you're a junior."
Nice.
And he's like, tell you what, we won't give you any more detentions if you can avoid staying out of trouble all year. And go figure, the principal caught me doing something he didn't like, and I had to serve both of them. But that's neither here nor there. We will move on to, that's the first song. We've got like 8 worst songs now. Next one, Let It Rock. Kevin Rudolph featuring Lil Wayne, and that song is like, where he's like, and how's it go? When I arrive, I bring the fire, bum bum bum, na na. It's let it rock, let it rock. It's very in the same vein as Metro Station. Yeah, it's a very bad song, and beyond that I can't really remember too much about it. Another worst song, Saving Abel, Addicted. I heard it. I was looking up worst songs ever for 2008, and I was like, I remember this band, I remember this song, or I remember the title, but I don't remember the how it sounds. And I played the first 10 seconds, I shut it off, and I was like, that's going on there. Saving Abel, Addicted.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Another one for worst songs of the year, Webby featuring Lil Fat and Lil Boozy, Independent. And the song starts off with INDEPENDENT. It just spells it out over, and it's so annoying. It's ear grating. Cool. And it goes up there in worst songs for 2008. Two more now to list here. We've got this, number 2 for worst songs 2008. Snoop Dogg's Sexual Eruption. Sexual Eruption.
What a title.
He's like, wow. It was a sexual eruption. It's like this smooth. It's such a shit song. Oh, God. And all right, here we go. We are at the moment now where I totally forgot about this song. I totally forgot about this band. Totally forgot it. I blacked all of it out. So here we go. Worst song of 2008.
Okay.
Shwayze, right. Corona and Lime.
There's Shwayze again.
All right, there it is.
Corona and Lime. And the song goes like maybe we'll be my Corona and Lime, and I will be your main squeeze. And if your brother don't like my style, we could take to the streets. And it's this what? It's this.
I have to listen.
And then one of the lines that makes me die, because he's talking about this girl. It's like, walking down the avenue, she's got baby butt, pretty little features. I ain't met her, but I get her when I see her. God. He's like, let me tell you about a girl I know. She love hip hop and rock and roll. Yeah. He talks. The little thing that he likes is her baby butt. Her baby butt. And he repeats the line. And it's a shit song. I completely blacked it out. I don't remember it. I didn't remember it until I heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, this is really bad.
Yeah. It's like the worst albums, the worst group. It's like it was like 12 years old or something like that, and it only had like 6-point-something million views, which means usually when something blows up, it's gonna blow up to at least 10 million views. How is it? It's been 12 years, and even people are like, "Oh, fuck this." Yeah, but Corona and Lime by Shwayze is one of the worst songs I've ever heard, and I completely blacked it out. So yeah, now you understand why our stock markets collapsed and why everything went to shit, because Shwayze was going on a world tour. And Shwayze. Nah, tell me, do you remember that song, Brad? I'm assuming you never heard it.
No, not at all. But I'm listening to it now.
And Nick, you never heard it before, I assume.
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
Who's the Weird Al looking guy in his band?
I don't know.
Playing guitar.
It kind of is like the LMFAO guy that came out but it's not him. But yeah, and if you look in the music video, he's not even really playing the guitar. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it's
what a surprise.
It's a stupid fucking song. Shwayze. Yeah, check it out. All right, we'll move now to TV shows that debuted in the year 2008. There's really only one that's like really worth talking about. We'll get to that one last. Between Two Ferns debuted. Star Wars: The Clone Wars debuted in 2008, the animated series. Sons of Anarchy debuted in 2008. True Blood debuted in 2008. And the only show that fucking matters, Breaking Bad, debuted in 2008. That show is a masterpiece from beginning to finish, beginning to end. Every episode builds upon it. It's one of the most well-written, well-acted, everything. Of any pieces of entertainment I've ever seen. It's a fantastic series. I still watch it. I'll just pick something to watch before I fall asleep. I'll just choose a random episode, and it sucks me in, and I end up watching like the next 3
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's just...
I watched some of the first episode. I think I actually just a couple days ago. The pilot, and it's I don't know. It was just crazy. Like, because they had the drug dealers come, and then he poison gases them in the RV, and
yep. And then he's got that plate. You know, it's all he collapses.
And he almost fucking he almost fucking kills himself.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember that, it's really quick. He puts the gun in it, and it's empty, or it jams or something. Like, holy shit!
Yep.
The twins that showed up on his bed, they get that call. Stop away! He almost got axed, and he didn't even realize it.
Yep.
Oh yeah, the spooky twins, as they were called.
Yeah.
Then Tuco comes in, and then there's Gail. Remember Gail? Gail was awesome.
Of course, yeah.
When he's singing along to that really fast, like Spanish or Italian song or whatever.
Yeah.
There's so many great moments in that show.
Do you have a best favorite moment in terms of in Breaking Bad? Do you have one that? Because I mean, there's so many. I mean, I can name a couple. I can name probably top 3. In terms of acting.
There are so many. Off the top of my head, I loved the Fly episode.
Yeah.
The one that was just like a one-off, doesn't mean anything. Just Walter White against this fly that's in the lab the whole time.
It could stand alone as its own episode without knowing anything.
It was like a comedy episode, really, just out of nowhere.
The ending of it, though, I think is the most important part, in terms of story at least, because he almost tells Jesse about Jane. He's like, he's so out of it at that point, and he's like, Jesse, I'm sorry about Jane. I'm sorry about Jane. And he's like, it's all right, man. He's like, no, you don't understand. Then like something happens with the fly. I think Jesse may get it. I think he kills it or something, and then they get to work, and that's just the episode.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, when he's talking to Skylar, and she's like, Walt, we need to get out of this. I can't believe I went along with this. Walt, you're in some serious danger here. And he turns on, he's like, who do you think you're talking to? Who do you see right now? That whole scene that I am the one who knocks, that ending where he says it and he doesn't even it's almost like Walter White is gone somewhere else and Heisenberg is taken over. And as soon as Heisenberg says, I'm the one who knocks, and Walter White takes over the body once again. And it's such an excellent piece of acting.
Yeah, you can see the look on his face, like, oh my God, what have I become, sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
You think someone gets out of you think that of me? No, I'm the one who knocks. And it's just like, oh God. And then he's in the crawl space.
Yes, the crawl space.
Yeah.
Funny story. I just heard this from Bill Burr. He was talking on his podcast about, or someone, he was on someone else's
show.
He was talking to somebody about, and they were naming comedians and actors and people that he's worked with just to give a description about him or a story. And they said Bryan Cranston. And he said the thing, funny thing about Bryan Cranston is, I was on set that day. They did the crawl space episode, and he's sitting there and he's just talking to me, and he's asking me questions. We're just having a simple conversation, and then he's like, okay, Brian, we need you, and he goes there and he does that amazing scene. He just takes take after take, and he's just freaking, and then he gets down to the scene. He comes back and he continues the conversation right where he left off, like nothing had happened. And he's like, it's just the craziest thing ever. He's just like, he's so fucking good. He can just turn it on and turn it off like that.
Right.
That horrifying Joker laugh, just maniacal. He's just lost his mind because she's given the money to Ted Beneke, and I believe
he's crying, and then he just starts laughing, and I think the whole time the phone's ringing.
Yep.
On top of it, and that just adds another layer of just tension.
Yeah.
It's Hank's wife calling her to say that Hank's under threat, and so she's got to go get Walton. And all that stuff. Yeah, it's so good. And I think the one scene that just absolutely crushed me in that show is it's at the end. I think it's Ozymandias or something like that. I think it might be that episode. It might be the end of that episode where not the end, because I think it just, I don't remember. But anyway, the scene is when Walter's talking to Skylar and they've got the cops listening on the other end, and he starts getting he gets quote unquote pissed at her. He starts berating her and calling her, you're a stupid bitch. You didn't know what was going on. You never did.
Right.
And he's getting her off the hook.
Her off that way. Yeah.
And he could see it because he's being extremely cruel to her, and he knows he's cutting everything off, and he's this is it. And you could see how much pain that's taking a toll on him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just got to suck it up and keep going back at it. And he's just, and he knows that Yeah, that whole scene that just wrecked me.
There was that scene where Jesse's like tied up in the back of a car with who was lovingly called Meth Damon, the guy who looked like kind of like Matt Damon.
Yeah.
But, right.
Who?
Yeah.
Oh no, he wasn't there. He shot and killed that second girl he was into. I forget her name. Who had the little son.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the one that Walt
right.
poisoned. Brock.
Yeah. But like he just shot her in the back of the head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jesse's like, I think he's gagged in the back seat of a car and he's just screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's near the end of the series.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
God, it's so good.
Yeah, it's an incredible show.
It's just we could go on for a long time talking about it, and I would love to, have like a retrospective look at Breaking Bad that hasn't been done a billion times before. But there's not many shows, if any, I can really think of from beginning to end that are it's perfect. It is absolutely
I remember
perfect.
Watching that last episode, I just wept at the end of it. Like
it's
that, just like
even
stand
the last
up
song.
and clap.
Right.
Like, bravo.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Mm-hmm.
The last song,
so
Baby
good.
Blue.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if you guys are into animation or not, but Death Note is very much up there with Breaking Bad in character development and drama and story. It's incredible. Very, very great story. The manga and the show have different endings, but for the most part, it's generally the same.
Oh, it's on Netflix. It appears.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I highly recommend it.
I tried. I watched it. It wasn't bad. I watched the JoJo's Secret or Bizarre Adventure too, and that looked like it was over. It looked like it was over the top, but I think that's the point of the show. It's supposed to be so ridiculous that it makes you laugh.
I never watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but I do recommend Death Note.
I watched the first episode of Death Note too, and I haven't gone back to either. It's not that I didn't like it. It's not that I didn't think that it had promise. I don't know. I have to be like in a mood. I have to be in a mood. I have to want it, and then but once I catch it, I don't lose that mood.
All right.
I watched the show. We'll move on here. We don't have too much left to go on, but I watched Succession all the way through. It's not bad. It's not as good as what everyone is saying. It isn't. I don't know where people get off. It's not as good as Boardwalk Empire. In fact, I almost started laughing about it because it just became the same shit.
Wait, what is this?
Succession. It became
Succession.
It's good. Don't get me wrong. It's very good.
Okay.
It stars Brian Cox, which is the Irish or Scottish fellow from God, what was he in? He's in so many movies. I know he's in X2, but you haven't seen that. God, I don't know.
It's like
Brian...
Nicholas Braun, Kieran Culkin.
Kieran Culkin's phenomenal.
Matthew McFadden.
Yeah.
Badnian.
The guy who was in The Big Short. Oh, the guy who Adam McKay, the guy who directed The Big Short, the guy who directed Don't Look Up, the guy who directed all this.
Oh, okay.
He's like executive producer. Will Ferrell's an executive producer. It's a comedy drama. The comedy is funny. It's good stuff. The drama's good too.
I never even heard about this.
Yeah, it's supposed to.
It's got really good reviews.
Yeah, it's a great show. It's like the best show HBO has going for it.
Okay, cool.
But everyone's saying it's just an amazing show, and it's a good show. It's not an amazing show. It's a good show for me. It's a good show. I watched the whole thing.
Okay.
It's not like I said. Boardwalk Empire I think is better, and but we'll see. Hopefully they end it next year. Hopefully it's only 4 seasons long because it's getting beyond repetitive for me at this point. And that's my issue with it. But seriously, check it out. Succession. But anyway, we'll move on to the top TV shows of 2008 for basic television. This shows you where we're at in 2008. Guess what number 1 is? American Idol. 2008.
Oh boy, here
again.
we go.
Guess what number 2 is? Dancing with the Stars. And then followed up, we've got CSI, NCIS, The Mentalist, which debuted in 2008, Sunday Night Football, Desperate Housewives, and Grey's Anatomy.
Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
Throw that
that's
no, that's
no hope.
Sunday Night Football has been in the top 10 for TV shows based television since its debut.
Yeah,
I just never mention it. It's just so And now my worst TV shows for 2008. Knight Rider remake. That lasted one season. Only like 6 episodes. They pulled it. It sucked. I didn't have the magic of the Hasselhoff, or I didn't have Mr. Feeney speaking.
Had none of that.
None of that. Yeah. Another worst TV show of 2008. We've got 19 Kids and Counting. That disgusting Duggar family. With their 19 fucking kids, and one of them that like rapes his sisters and molests other children. That he's gone to prison for like 50 years now.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah.
I need to watch that show. Wow.
19 Kids and Counting.
What?
Did that entice you? That
sounds like a.
I don't think it happens on the show.
It sounds like a movie I've never seen, but I've always wanted to, called Dogtooth. Where it's like this family has their kids like isolated in their house their whole lives, and then like the brother ends up having sex with the sister or some crazy shit.
Oh, good lord. Yeah, sounds good.
It's right up my alley for movies, but I've never seen it. But that just reminded me of the plot of that.
Oh, yeah, 19 Kids and I mean, they're a couple of Mormons that just can't stop fucking each other.
Oh, of course they're Mormons.
19 kids. Why the? Never mind. I won't get into it.
That poor woman.
She's all for it. Her legs are permanently spread. She's just in prime position. She's in straight missionary position all the time. That's the only one God allows. So that's where she's at. It's constantly, and the guy's constantly erect. He's just popping Vicodin, or not. Jesus, not Vicodin. Popping Viagra like it's Tic Tacs. Just constantly erect.
I mean, you would need Vicodin with 19 kids running around.
Right? It's just a baby factory. That's all they are. Fucking unreal. Anyway, and the worst TV show of 2008 is Paris Hilton's My New BFF. For some reason, Paris Hilton was given a reality show where a bunch of other girls wanted to be Paris Hilton's best friend, so they all competed in for that honor, quote unquote.
That wasn't her only reality show. I remember The Simple Life.
Oh yeah, that was early 2000s though. We covered that.
Oh, okay, that was back.
Yeah, so this is where she's already gone past her one night in Paris and her height of her fame, where she's just trying to clutch to whatever the fuck she can. And it's My New BFF. I don't think it lasts more than 2 seasons, I think. But yeah, just to really, I don't know why anybody would want to be her friend. Yeah. Anyway, we will now move on to video games released in 2008. A lot of good ones. The format in which I looked this up wasn't the greatest for whatever for this year, so I had to go through from January 1st to December 31st every day and look to see which games were released and then pick which ones I felt were necessary to talk about. So that was a lot of work for what amounted to like 9 games or something like that, maybe 8. Video games released in 2008. On March 9th for the Wii, Super Smash Bros. Brawl. That was the follow-up to the GameCube one, Melee. So excited for this game because like I was like a decent, at least amongst my friends, I was a decent Smash Brothers player. But then with this game, they had like a bunch of different mechanics they added to it. The Super Smash Ball was added amongst other things, and it was fun, but it changed it, and I had to get used to the Wii remote controller at this point, so I wasn't as good. I don't know, but it wasn't a bad game. I thought
sure.
I thought it was good. Just my favorite's still Melee. Just whatever, I just clicked with that one. And then for March 24th, we have for the PSP, PlayStation Portable, the Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII. This is a big game for Final Fantasy VII fans. It tells the backstory of Zack, and all of it, and leading up to with him and Cloud and what happens between him and Shinra and all that stuff. Very good game, I guess. I mean, I haven't played it, but I've heard good things. And if you want more lore for the world of Final Fantasy VII, it's an ideal game to play. For the Wii, on April 10th, Mario Kart Wii was released. Mario Kart Wii for the Wii on April 10th. I played that Mario Kart probably more than any other Mario Kart I ever played. I used to just get stoned and play Mario Kart, and I would just race the tracks over and over again. I'd learned every little secret you could get. I would race ghost trials or whatever, and I'd race myself to try and beat them, to unlock characters and such like that. I was literally, that's how I go to school, I go to work. If I wasn't doing that, I was sitting in my That was it. My little place that I had there, and just get high and play Mario Kart.
Yeah.
That or watch Walker Texas Ranger episodes.
Oh man.
But that was years later. That was like that was like 2010, I think.
2010.
Also, and this is funny because Brad and I were hanging out this night. We actually went to a midnight release of it on April 29th. That date was on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. Grand Theft Auto 4 was released.
Oh yeah.
And Brad and I we went to GameStop, a midnight release, and we waited in line and got our games and went home, and we both had to work the next day or something like that.
Yeah, something.
And we got online to do the online. It was the first time you could be online, with each other. So like the previous game was San Andreas, so you couldn't. I
remember that.
You couldn't you'd have to be on the same console and all that, but it was a lot of fun. Didn't really play it as much as I thought I would. I played it, I got in the story, but I never beat it. No one was ever online for me to play with. And that was pretty much it. We would just play like Halo 3 or something. That was pretty much the gist of it. I never finished Grand Theft Auto 4. I liked it. But yeah, not much to say beyond advancing the whole multiplayer world in that sense. That was pretty cool. On July 29th, Soul Calibur 4 was released for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. I'm pretty sure I played that game. I don't really recall. I played a little bit of this next.
I think I did too.
Yeah, I'm not a great fighting game person, so it is what it is. Dead Space on October 14th was released for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360.
Yeah, that was a good one. I liked that one a lot.
Yeah, me too. It was freaking scary as hell. And one of probably my favorite game of the year that came out in 2008 on October 28th for the PC, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360, Fallout 3. My first real experience with Fallout. Yeah. And I absolutely loved it. I was completely, absorbed in that game. I couldn't put it down. It was just, I was,
I played it, but I did. I don't think I got too far into it. I just remember laughing my ass off. I think in that first town you go to with the as the bomb that
like Nuketown or something like that.
Yeah. You go to the bar there, and I'm talking to the bartender, and she's talking shit about this character who is standing right next to her, but is not like reacting to it at all. Yeah, then I went to 10 Penny Tower or whatever that was, with that rich guy, and then I blew up Nuketown.
That's right. I remember that.
I'm just like, yeah, fuck that place, blow it up.
I remember that. They gave you that decision to blow it up or not. Yeah.
Oh, I blew it up.
Me too.
It was fun.
I think I did as well. I had never played a game like that before in my life. Fallout 3, never. To that level, at least. I mean, I was just completely lost in that world. I would just walk around and run into anything I could and try and avoid getting radiation poisons. And I would hate being in the sewers because those little bugs would crawl and it'd make that noise and it freaked me the fuck out. But I liked the
super mutants. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. I love
scary as hell.
VATS, is it called VAATS or something like that? Whatever that. Yeah. I love that. I thought that was so cool. So cool.
Like, with the Pip Boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that little animated guy for everything.
I played something similar a long time ago on the PlayStation 1. It's called Vagrant Story, Square Enix game, or Squaresoft at that point, that allowed you to attack in an RPG sense, but allowed you to attack like their arm, their leg, and you take that out. And it was really cool, and it's percentage points for that. But yeah, this was really cool. Always go for the head too. Doing those long snipes and just watching the bullet just blow off their head and blood go everywhere. Oh yeah. And the last, one,
that bloodlust.
So satisfying. So delicious. On November 7th, on November 7th, for the Xbox 360, Gears of War 2 came out, and I never really played it. I played a little bit. It felt a little bit different. Didn't like it as much as the first one, and that was it.
I'm pretty sure I played that. If I didn't buy it, I'm pretty sure I had that game at some point.
I remember having, I think it was Gears of War 2. We had in the basement, we had basically like an old school landline party. We had a bunch of people bring TVs, like Buddy Turan was there. I think Sly was there. I think Mike was there and all that. when they're all playing Gears of War 2, and I just watching Turan get gunned down left and right, and getting so mad. I'm really good at this game. You suck. No, you don't. You're not. And he still is convinced that he's better than he says he is, which we like to bring up. But no, I just remember Turan getting killed a lot in Gears of War 2, although he'll deny it. All right, and now we will move to the worst video game of 2008. Which, by the way, I remember the 2006 episode, I wanted to name Sonic 06 as the worst video game of 2006. Obviously, that's the worst one. Sonic 06 is notorious for just being a complete shit show. But I mentioned Bomberman, which I didn't think was terrible. But if I would have gone back, I was like, why didn't I mention Sonic? I didn't even say anything. But yeah, I stick by what I said, though. Bomberman was also very bad. But anyway.
It could have been either or.
Yeah. And not only that, I mean, people would always pick Sonic, so maybe it's best I pick Bomberman.
Right.
Worst video game of 2008 was on July 7th, was released for the Wii. It is called Spogs Racing, SPOGS, all caps Racing. It was released on essentially the same platform of like a PlayStation Play or Xbox Game Pass, where the game's already installed, and all you have to do is just download it or off that website or stream or whatever it is, and you can play it for free, something like that. So this game was called
This
Spogs.
looks awful.
The game sees the player racing around 12 tracks in a vehicle called a Spog, a sports player objective gyros, I don't know, which resembles a tire with a pog-like disc inside representing the player's avatar. Adding to the traditional racing game formula, Spogs Racing gives the player an ability called Crash and Grab to steal spare parts such as engines, brakes, and tailpipes from their opponents to upgrade their own vehicle by crashing into them. The Spogs themselves are equipped with 6 different weapons to allow the player to slow down to the opponents and take their parts more easily, and are maneuverable enough to allow players to pull off tricks on ramps and loops and make the vehicle spin off, drift, and flip over. Spogs Racing garnered an overwhelmingly negative response from its critics. It received an abysmal 1.9 out of a possible 10 from IGN, who called the game Wii Shovelware, which is based a play off the WiiWare, which is where you download the game from, citing dull gameplay, infuriating AI, and claiming it to be the ugliest game available on the Wii. They also pointed out the absurdity of such a broken, fugly game standing among the likes of the other WiiWare titles such as Lost Winds and Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles My Life as a King. However, they did believe the crash and grab mechanic was the sole good idea in the game, though it was poorly implemented. Hardcore Gamer also gave the game a negative response, scoring it a 1 out of 5 and claiming it to be one of the most horrible games ever made. They also called the graphics insulting and said the game's music will make you leave the game feeling like you've just been punched in the head a few times. Eurogamer's reviewer called it the most inept game they've played on any format in any genre in recent memory, giving it a 1 out of a 10. WiiWare World was only slightly more positive with a 3 out of 10, calling the gameplay and opponent AI terribly erratic and the graphics absolutely inexcusable. This is the own website that you get the game from. They're not even happy with it. However, they felt the game had some unique ideas and that the 2-player mode was decent, but still not that great. Their sole praise for the sound effects, which they felt sounded very authentic. With a meta score of 18 from 7 reviews, Metacritic proclaimed Spogs Racing to be its Wii Dud of the Year. The title is the lowest rated Wii game on the site and the lowest rated Wii game in existence. And that will do it for, that'll do it for 2008. Worst video game, Spogs Racing. Make sure you guys check that. Oh, you can't. It's taken off. It's forever gone like those lost master recordings. Spogs Racing is no longer available to play.
I'm watching a video of gameplay of it, and it is... it's going to put me to sleep. It's so drab.
I think the last one I did was like a Toyota, I can't remember the name of the fucking car, but it was another one of those like cheesy free games that you could just get that are just absolute shit. But all right, thank you guys so much for joining me again. It's a good conversation. A lot of fun.
My pleasure.
Talking some of that. And with that, I hope you enjoyed listening to our conversation, and will join us again for another installment of History with Ursafat. Don't forget to hydrate, exercise, and to like and subscribe to the podcast. All these things are essential for your health and well-being. Take care of yourselves and each other.